Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're all having an amazing day so far. Today's video is going to be a review and swatches of this palette from Urban Decay. This is the Urban Decay XX Vice Limited Reloaded palette. I'm not exactly sure if I am saying that correctly, but this is just another one of the Vice palettes from Urban Decay. And this is actually the first Vice palette that I am owning. I've seen other ones in the past, but have never picked them up. And I decided to get my hands on this guy because I had been wanting to get the Urban Decay Full Spectrum palette. I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's the one that has really bright like rainbow colors in it, but I've just had a hard time justifying it since I don't use a lot of colorful colors often. And then I saw this one online when I was browsing around during the VIB Rouge sale, and this is online only. You can only purchase this on the Sephora website and maybe on the Urban Decay website too, I'm not sure, but it isn't available in Sephora. But I decided to get it because when you open it up here, you will see that, I'm going to use the box to cover the mirror so you're not blinded. You will see that it has some amazing bright colors in here without being too crazy. So I felt like this was a great compromise from the Urban Decay Full Spectrum palette, which is full of like unicorn colors. And this one here has some really unique, different colors in it without being like too out of my comfort zone. And then there's also some more neutral shades in here as well. I have to tell you guys that I am so happy with this purchase. This actually for me is definitely going outside of my comfort zone. And so for me to pick up something like this, I am just so inspired when I look at this palette. Now this is something that I do feel like you need to use kind of other palettes in conjunction with it so that you have a complete look. But I'm okay doing that because I look at these shades and I can just like picture this like UVB shade, and I just picture like a beautiful kind of like light brown warm upper eyelid, and then this all smudged along the lower lash line, and it being a really cool pop of color. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. I just get so excited when I look at this palette, but the whole idea behind this palette is that there are some like never before seen shades in here, but there are also some shades that are kind of like Urban Decay classics. For example, like Oil Slick, Gash, I forget which other ones. I was just Acid Rain is the one I was thinking of. I was just reading on the Sephora website because I wasn't aware of these shades, but these are ones that like are kind of like cult classics that we haven't seen in years, I guess. They've been bringing them back. Now, this retails for $75. It is very expensive, but it does come with 20 eyeshadows, which I think is quite, you know, a lot of eyeshadow. And what I love about it is that there are just, you don't see shades like this everywhere. And while, yes, it does kind of look like they're all just kind of thrown in there, and maybe it's not like the most cohesive, when I look at this, I have shades in here that I don't have anywhere else in my collection which I love. The actual packaging of it is stunning. I just think that this black plastic cover is so beautiful, and it has this like kind of purple gem looking UD sign right here. I think that it is just cool, and like but that is what we expect with Urban Decay. Like, at least I do. I just think of them as edgy and cool, and I'm really glad I got my hands on this Vice palette. Like, seriously, I think it is awesome. Look at this, is really cool too, you guys. So it has this like spring-loaded lid on it. So when you press the button, it just like pops open. Is that not cool? And so when it's actually sitting on your vanity, it's really usable. This mirror is huge and like such a crystal clear mirror, which I had mentioned with the Urban Decay Ultimate Basics palette. I love that the mirrors that they've been using are so true and they're not distorted at all, which is awesome. So yes, the packaging of it gets an A+. I think it is beautiful. I love that the lid of it holds itself up so that you can actually use it when you're doing your makeup. Now, the actual formula of these eyeshadows, you guys, is incredible. You'll be seeing in the swatches here that these are all so pigmented and creamy and blend onto the eye so beautifully. I have absolutely zero complaints. The only complaint I have, and it's more of a personal preference thing, is that there are a few shadows in here that have quite a bit of glitter in them, and by that it's not a lot. It's just 501, Oil Slick, and Midnight Cowboy. They all have kind of like a glittery texture to them, which I don't love because it gets all over my face, and in general I'm not a huge fan of glitter. I absolutely love shimmery eyeshadows, which is what the majority of these are. There are a couple matte shades in here, for example Laced, is an amazing transition color. Now, it works for me because I have quite pale skin, but for people with deeper skin tone, it might not work. It'd be more of like, you know, a blending out shade for the transition color. Suspend is another kind of cool gray tone. Like, it's cool in the sense that it's like in tone, but it's also just cool, as in I love it, because it actually works really well with these shades also. Like I said though, you do need to be using, like I've been finding I need to use other palettes like my Urban Decay Ultimate Basics palette to really get like comprehensive full on looks with this. But I love palettes that when I look at them, I think that this is different. This is unlike anything else I have out there. Do you need this in your life? I'm gonna have to go ahead and say yes, you guys. That is how much I've been loving it, because I just like lately feel a little bit in like an eyeshadow rut. I just like, I don't know, I just like throw on the same eyeshadow all the time, get out the door. It's more of just like, you know, a time constraint type of thing. But when I look at this, like I get all of these ideas and like my imagination runs wild. Like, look at Gash. Oh my god, it is so beautiful. It comes with this little brush in here, which is, it is nice. Like, it's always a bonus when a palette comes with a brush, but unfortunately Urban Decay brushes just like aren't cut in the cake as far as I'm concerned. This side isn't bad. It's kind of like a flat, more of like pencil brush. That's good for underneath the eye. But like this like fluffy side of it, this is not good. It's not fluffy enough that you can use it as like a crease color, but it's not dense enough to kind of pack on color. So unfortunately the brush kind of misses the mark for me, but hey, I can get over it. I do appreciate it when brands, you know, include a brush in it because it increases the value. But yes, all in all, I think that this palette is absolutely beautiful. Some of my favorites in here are Freak Show. I actually used it today to do kind of like a faux winged liner. I love doing like a dark purple liner lately. I've been loving Moonflower down here. It is a beautiful copper shade all over the lid. It's absolutely beautiful. Mildew and Misdemeanor, both these kind of like green teal shades I have been loving. Anonymous is really beautiful as like a matte brow bone highlight shade. Gash, of course, I'm absolutely in love. Just in general, I think that this is a really good palette, and if you are looking for something different, I think this is worth your money. If you are an absolute die-hard Urban Decay fan, don't miss out on this guy, because I think that it is awesome. So that basically sums up my thoughts on the Urban Decay XX Vice Limited Reloaded palette. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my thoughts on this guy. I'm going to be using it in some upcoming tutorials so that you guys can see it in action, because it is such a cool palette. Like, I look at it and I feel cool that it's in my possession. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching and for subscribing, because it means so much to me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!